Hi, welcome to another tutorial video. This time I'm going to be showing you my little marquee banner thing that I built. It's just a simple piston circuit design. I'll turn it on first and we can step back and watch. Whoops. There we go. Chunk updates are rather slow with it, so sometimes you don't see the whole thing moving at once, and then it will just ping to, there we go, welcome. Let me just turn it off so that we don't get deafened by the noise in here. Right, I shall start with the initial circuit. I've got an on-off switch. When we turn the circuit off, it won't immediately pause the banners from moving. It will complete a full slide and then turn itself off. When we turn it on, it will send a signal through this pulse generator to make sure it's a single tick pulse. It will come down here into this, excuse the sort of higgledy-piggledy redstone torches, start signal. Come down to here into this AND gate. Now the AND gate comprises of the off switch, which is this signal, which is connected to our switch, and the resume signal. Now, I'll tell you more about that in a second. Basically what we do is, when a slide triggers the stop over there, it will, I might as well walk over there first. As the slide moves around, this piece of glass blocks the signal that's coming from a redstone torch to the other side of the wall, into this repeater, into this NOT block, and into this large array of repeaters, as I've got a bank of repeaters for the wait between slides. As the signal gets to the end of the repeaters, it will trigger this pulse generator again to make sure that if the block has been there for a second or two, which it regularly does, there will be a long line of repeaters, so a big pulse. So we clamp it to a single tick, and then it goes into this AND gate. Shush. Right, so we either have the resume signal being passed through here into this AND gate, or we have the first on pulse that comes through into this AND gate. So basically, we have the resume signal or the start signal comes into this AND gate, right? The reason for the AND gate is so that when we have it switched off, it will make sure that the resume signal that comes from over there won't re-enable the circuit. And that's pretty much how the AND works. They both have to be off for it to emit a signal. That one's normally off when the signal's on, and this one's only off when we've either been given a start signal or the slide timer wants to resume. Right, now we get to here. This is the main loop, as it says. We've got two repeaters on either side. At the moment they're set to 8 ticks. As the signal comes in, it loops around, goes back out. Now, I've got it so it's a bit more complicated than just a simple loop. As the signal comes back round here, it goes into this AND block. And the point of this AND block is so that when the slide pause block is hit over there, there's an additional signal that comes along here that halts the pistons from moving. As it says, AND gate pause and continue signal here. So we have one signal from the pause, and that will make sure that the loop stops, and the other one triggers each time the loop completes. So basically when this is on, the signal will stop looping, and when it's off, the loop will continue until obviously that piece of glass is pushed in between those two repeaters. I've got the weird structure here where you've got this one goes to the back top. As you can see, it's just a long line of redstone hooked up with a NOT gate, repeaters to make sure the signal is sent to all of these in a row, and then the repeaters hit this block with a torch on, a block, and the pistons below. By the side of it, sorry. And as you can see, from this signal, it goes to the top rear and the bottom front. Again, it's just a load of repeaters, basically. And on the other side, we've got it set up so the return signal always triggers the rear bottom one. And the purpose of this is, as the circuit's coming to a stop, we don't want to trigger the front pistons again, because they'll push the slide down by a block. So what we do is, as the signal goes around, if it wants to pause, it won't trigger the front top pistons, right? So when we restart the circuit, the first thing that does happen is the front top pistons are triggered, so it pushes the slide down, and then the top slide and the bottom slide, which is under us here, are pushed over, and then this rear slide is pushed up, and then the circuit gets back to a normal 2 slides per once. So the top and the bottom are moved at the same time, and the front and the back are moved at the same time. Now I've built this at 35 blocks wide and 7 blocks tall. It's actually 9 blocks deep, but we can ignore that. Well, obviously it makes sense why that is, but you can actually make this 11 blocks or 12 blocks tall, depending. I built it as a nice little sort of welcome sign for our server. As you can see, I've annotated it a little. And what I'll do now, I was hoping it wouldn't rain, but I guess we're just going to have to do it. I'm going to turn it on. And you can hear it starts moving. Now, we'll get far enough away so that the cacophony of the pistons isn't too loud. And there we go. Now, obviously, that probably means nothing to you. It's just advertising one of the locations on our map, which is a new town called Shard. And as you can tell, it's moved a whole slide, and then it's pausing for about 14 seconds, and then it starts moving again. As you can see, only the active chunk really updates as often as it should. It's quite weird. Our excitement for 1.8, the adventure update, with a little sheep in a pen. Brilliant. Glad there are no mobs about. And we'll just get to the next slide and I'll stop it again. You can actually get this, I mean, it's quite configurable. You can get it quite a bit faster. It does have issues with lag sometimes if you get the updates too short. I think 4 or 5 ticks is probably the most sensible minimum. Otherwise you just generate far too much lag. I mean, slower clients will just balk at anything like that. And as you can see, the signal's still coming around here, but because we've set this one off, the blink does nothing, which is good. Now we'll set these to 1, so it's going to be 5. There we go. And we'll turn it back on again. And now we're going to stand inside and listen. It's going to get quite noisy and the frame rate might drop a little, but you just see it pulsing around. And there you go. It's moved it. Terribly exciting. Let's back off to this circuit. Now, as you can see, this is off now. So when this pulse comes through, there we go. It sends the pulse in. And it just loops around. Pretty simple. Let's go turn it off again. As you can see, it's not terribly cluttered in here. I haven't particularly spent much time trying to make it neat. I did replace all the cobble with wood just to make it a bit more clear about what things are doing and where they're going. But that's pretty much it. If you've got any advice or any tips on making this a bit more efficient, or making it more compact, making it bigger, faster, leave a comment. There we go.